Hey there, everybody. This is James, and this is the Work Hard People's Podcast. I just want to thank everybody out there for liking and subscribing. Those that are watching and listening, we really appreciate you. Keep it up for us. We hope we're giving you out some good information there. We do have Matt freaking Deakins, powerlifter extraordinaire, with us. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm great, James. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's good to see you. Haven't seen you this year yet. First
Yeah,
time on
been
this
a
year,
minute.
so. That's good. We gotta have our major contributor pop in from time to time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And Matt is fresh back from the Arnold Classic, and that's what this show is going to be about this week. We're going to do a little recap, talk a little bit about the experience because if you've never been to a bodybuilding show, it's an interesting experience to begin with. Number one. Number two, in my opinion, there is no better bodybuilding show to attend than the Arnold Classic. The Expo is phenomenal. The you would be amazed how small the community is. Both the cool thing, just so people know about the Arnold Classic, not only is it a bodybuilding show, but it's a full-on powerlifting show. I mean, you've seen Eddie Hall. Eddie Hall broke a deadlift record at the Arnold years ago. They do some crazy stuff. So, and it is an absolute experience. And I don't care if you're into bodybuilding or not. You don't even have to be into fitness, anything. Just to go watch the show, the expo and stuff is fantastic. And you will find out how small this community really is because people go to that show and you're going to run into people that you have talked with online and never met. You will see all kinds of people. So how was that for you, man? Did you enjoy it out there?
Yeah, so this isn't my first Arnold Classic going to. It's been my first in probably 10 years. Um,
Yeah,
and when I went on a Saturday and there were a ton of people and it was not quite a free for all, but it was like you went up to this place which says get your wristband here and you walked up there and you basically threw them a 20, they put a wristband on you and away you went. Well,
yeah.
this year the tickets are a bit more expensive. I mean, everything's a bit more
What
expensive.
were they? What pass did you get?
So I just got the 1 day for Friday.
Okay.
So literally 1 day Expo pass for Friday. And after tax and all that, it was $51.
Okay. Yeah,
About
I
2
got
years
the
ago, I paid 20.
yeah, when I went 2 years ago, I want to say it's like $80, but it was a not a VIP, it was I think the platinum. I have it somewhere. It was the platinum pass. You got into the expo. You could get in like an hour early before anybody else. It was for all day Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday at
Oh, wow.
the athlete meeting Sunday morning. You could get in for that. Um, and I mean, yeah, it was an expensive trip, but I'm telling you, it's worth every cent. I mean, just the environment, going to the local gyms, you'll run into. I mean, dude, when I was there, I went to the pros gym, which it's absolutely it's a dog hole, right? I mean, this gym's been around forever. It is if you like if you remember the old school magazines and looking at old school gyms where you're gonna walk in there and it's gonna smell like blood and BO
Mhm.
and there is sweat all over the place and the weights are falling apart. It's dusty, but it's an environment. It's a place I think everybody should see. Um, you'll be working out on the same machines that Arnold works out on and all the other guys there. I mean, when I was there, I ran into who we run into? Ran into Ronnie Coleman when I was there. He was there cruising around, watching people. We just missed Nick Walker. I mean, he was in there like an hour before we got there. So you see a lot of cool stuff when you're there.
Yeah, no, and when my buddy Kyle and I walked in, he had never been. So that was the main reason we went this year. Is I was thinking about going because originally the Access Sledge booth was going to be there. They couldn't make it last second withdraw, but I had already bought tickets. Him and I were going to go. So we went anyways. And, we ran into some people. I'll get into that in a second. But, we get down there and I warned him. I'm like, by the way, this is going to be sensory overload. Like there's
Oh
going to be a
yeah,
lot going on here. Just a warning. And
yeah.
he also goes to Comic Cons and such. There's one he goes to every year in Cincinnati. He goes, "Oh, I've been to such and such. I know sensory overload." So I'm like, "Okay, okay, we're on the same page." And walked in, and the very first thing we saw on the right side was like There were guys in night costumes, like sheaths and armor, like sword fighting, and I'm like, I forgot that there's even stuff like that going on.
Yeah.
And I saw that, and and Kyle looked at me and goes, "The hell's that?" I'm like, "I don't know, but don't be surprised because if you think that's weird, you're probably going to see some other weird things." So then we cruised up, the right side there, and there was the going on was the 2024 World's Strongest Firefighter that was going on there for Friday, and I think it was on the main stage, main strongman stage on Saturday
Hmm.
for the finals. But so what we watched there, we knew a guy in there, so we wanted to watch an event or two while we were there. Uh, but then we kind of just cruised around, ended up just kind of doing a big snake through
Yeah.
it, right? And just I warned him, if you move fast, you're going to be the trampler, and people are going to get annoyed. If you move too
Yeah.
slow, you're going to get trampled over. So there's a kind
That's
of a
right.
pace that you just got to
Excuse
flow
me.
with, right?
Yeah.
And so we kind of went up and down, and there were some cool things, there was some not so cool things, but we ran into some really cool people, and it made the trip totally worth it. Just being there and seeing some of the things, and then later in the day you got to see they had the classic physique going on in the expo hall, so you could stand around and watch that.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, just to kind of lay it out, what people need to. So, when you're in the expo hall itself, the whole strongman competition is done in there. They have classic physique. The prejudging is done there. Bikini and wellness, I think, are both done on that stage in the expo, so you can see a lot of that stuff. Sometimes they have like Highland Games. Do they have the Highland Games?
I don't remember seeing
But
it, but
I've seen,
they weren't.
yeah, I've seen when I was there. They had Highland Games. There's wrestling. I mean, it is an entire event, and that hall is huge.
Yeah, so they had the main stage where the bodybuilding stuff was on. They only had the bodybuilding, fitness, bikini, that kind of stuff going on
Mhm.
that stage, and they had, well, I'll call them like table talks because I think of Dave Tate Table Talk podcast, but they had like panels,
Yeah,
um, where you had like Cutler and Coleman was one. You had Seabum and Hani Rambod and Derek Lunsford as one was going on throughout
yeah,
the, and so you could go and stand there or go and sit. There's seating there. You could sit and watch those. And then there were a bunch of booths. And then on the far left side is where they had the strongman and powerlifting, we'll call them arenas, but
yeah. It's
kind of
back in that corner over
in
there. They
that
got
left
the whole
side.
thing set up. Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
So,
That's the same. That's the same.
yeah. So there was that. And then, there's all the booths in the middle. Um,
So wait a minute. So Access Ledge, I did hear that they were going to come back because I remember when COVID hit, they were going to go, and then there was a whole thing, and then they didn't even think about it for a couple years.
yeah.
And
They
I
were
had
supposed to
heard
be
they
there.
were coming back this year, but they pulled out at the last minute. I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah. They pulled out, I would say, 2 weeks, maybe 2, 3 weeks before.
Yeah,
Um, I would say it was almost, it's close to mid-February.
yeah,
Um, they had some issues. I know Mr. Feroci made a comments on the podcast about it. There were some graphics issues. There was, the amount of people that were needed to be there to run the booth, to
yeah.
be there, to be act. Just it was too much for what they had on their plate on top of releases. Both the AAR release, the couple Action Sledge products they wanted to release. It was just too much for the plate on top of some graphics mishaps, we'll call it.
I I do
So,
know there were a lot of demo crew members though, because I saw a bunch of them. My girl Heidi Wacker was there. You
oh,
took a
nice.
picture with Heidi and Billy
Yeah.
and Dean, and that was really cool. Well, I'll throw that picture up. She said I could use it, so
So it was actually kind of funny. We ran into Heidi before we ran into all of them, and
okay.
so Heidi and I and Kyle are just talking, and we're catching up. It's nice to finally meet you, et cetera, et cetera. And then this one gentleman was kind of just, I don't want to say like kind of like kind of creepily in the background doing half moons
Yeah,
behind her, and we as we shuffled and twisted a little bit, he came up and approached her and asked if she was some IFBB pro. And
yeah.
so that was kind of an awkward
She had. I've
thing.
talked. So I had a few conversations with. We're very good friends. We talk almost on a daily basis. there's a group of us that we chat on a daily basis, and she's in that group, and she said she had several people approach her and ask her, and you'll see Heidi, the girl is in shape, dude,
She looks
and when
real.
she gets ripped, she absolutely, if that was a goal, I absolutely think she could get her IFBB Pro card if she
Oh,
chased it. I
absolutely.
just don't think it's a goal. She just
Right.
likes to hit the gym and she'll do a show now and again, but I
Mhm.
just don't think she's chasing that goal. But she is phenomenal.
I agree. So it was kind of weird, and nevertheless, we moved on, and we were going around. Then we ran into Dean and John and Alvin, and some of the Axe and Sledge actual employees that were there, and we BS with them for a little bit, and then we started wandering again. And then we got stopped by oh God, I gotta look up his handle. Um, Anyways, we ran into this one demo crew guy from Indiana, so it was not that far away. It's gonna bug me. Anyways, so it was just I probably got asked 5 or 6 times. Oh, okay, it's Tyler Warman, Tyler Joseph Warman. His Instagram handle Savage Bodybuilding Dad 23.
There you
So
go.
he we ran into him and we were BSing for a few minutes. But I got asked probably 10 times about where's the booth at? Is Seth here? I thought they were coming this year, and so it was just because I wore my deadlifts and gummy bears greatly.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but at the end, remind me to go into a fanboy moment. Has
We'll
to do with
do
that.
it. We'll
But
do it. You know what's the craziest thing too about the show? A lot of people don't realize is, these bodybuilders, when you see them in pictures, they're absolutely huge, right? They've just like engulfed the screen. But you'd be amazed at how small they are,
oh yeah, you get next to
right?
somebody like we were walking by the Evogen booth and Derek Lunsford's in there, the reigning Mr. Olympia, and yeah, he's thick. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got some. He's not that tall. I think he's like
No,
five
it's
six,
like,
5'7".
yeah, yeah,
Not that big.
exactly.
But he's a tank. But he's
Yeah.
really not that. I mean, I don't want to downplay it. It's
No.
extremely impressive, except for the fact that he just is this normal looking guy that's just got a bunch of muscle.
Yeah, everybody thinks they look huge, and their muscles are huge. I mean, like you say, they're round and thick, and when they're, getting ready for the show, they are dieted down and shredded. But I was just so taken aback. Like I was standing I got a picture of me and Johnny O, right? And we're
Yeah,
the same age. He's still in great shape, and I'm like, dude, I'm as big as him almost. His arms are a little bigger, but like, because I'm a big guy, right?
right.
Like, I mean, it doesn't necessarily show, but like I'm a big guy. Every time I go by my wife's work, like all of her coworkers and stuff are like, your husband's freaking jacked. And I'm like, wait, keep boosting the ego. Come on, keep
Right.
boosting the ego. But I mean, I'm a big, strong guy, but these guys, I mean, they're in such good shape. But I was just like, they're not near as big as I thought they'd be, face to
Right.
face when you meet them. So that was kind of cool. But hey, so let's get into a little bit of results because there were some really cool things that happened at the Arnold this year. We had some three-peats. We had I think there was a few records, but we weren't able to nail those down. I think there was a few records in the powerlifting categories. There was a huge upset in classic physique. And I just kind of want to give a shout out to the winners of the divisions and maybe talk a little bit about that. And then Matt's going to talk a little bit about the strongman competition and stuff that went on there. But first men's open, we had Hadi Chupin winning. So he was Mr. Olympia 2 years ago. I was glad to see him win that. He did. I don't believe he had an Arnold Classic victory, and it was really cool. The thing what you got to remember with Hadi Chupin is he's from Iran. The visas from Iran. It's someday there was the Olympia. I think it was 4 or 5 years ago. He showed up 2 days before the show. Like it was that hard for him to get around. So the fact that Hani Rambod was able to help him and get him in there, and then to see him win that show, I thought that was pretty cool because he's a fun guy. You ever watch any of the social media with Hani Rambod when they're in the gym training and stuff. I mean, he's a funny guy. He jokes around. He's ribbing the guys that he's with. I mean, he's just a fun guy. So it was nice to see him win, especially losing the title to Derek Lunsford. That was kind of cool. And then Classic Physique, man, shout out to Wesley Vissers. Oh my goodness, this guy, I've watched him for many years now, and he has been close and far. And I mean, he was seventh in the Olympia, and then to come up there and beat Ramon, who's been number two at the Olympia in Classic Physique for the last 2 years. That was awesome. Shout out to him. Good guy. He's a fun guy to watch on social media as well. And I'm going to post pictures of all these people too. So, but yeah, shout out to Wesley Vissers. I saw a thing on Nick Strength and Power. Those of you that don't watch his show, I'll drop a link to his show because if you're into bodybuilding or even powerlifting news, he is very good about getting that information out to you. He drops videos once or twice a day, every day. Nick Strength and Power, and on YouTube, you can catch him on YouTube. But he had a judge on, and he was talking about it, and he said that Wesley Vissers beat Ramon 4 out of the 5 mandatory poses that they judge. So he said Ramon looked really good. Ramon actually got way better at the night show than he was in prejudging. But I guess Vissers was just phenomenal there. So shout out to him. Then you have the men's physique. We had Diego Montenegro. He took classic physique, and then bikini. We had Lorelai Chapados. Shout out to her, 3-time bikini Arnold Classic. That's 3 in a row for her. That was her three-peat. In fitness, you had Ariel Kadar, phenomenal fitness competitor. I've seen her on social media preparing for shows as well. She also, I believe, that was her third Arnold Classic in a row. She three-peated. And then wellness, you had I hope I don't blow her name up, Francielli Matos. And then pro wheelchair, you got Rajesh Jean, which that's really cool. That I love that they still keep that category, the wheelchair category, and he looked really good. All the competitors looked fantastic. But also want to give a shout out to Samson Dowda. He placed second, and he is actually. I heard today on Nick Strength and Power that he's getting ready to go to the hospital. He said his body's just kind of giving out on him, so he was planning on doing the Arnold UK. It doesn't look like that's going to happen
Right.
because of some health issues. Make no mistake about it, people. Bodybuilding is extreme fitness. When they are at that stage, they are not healthy. Telling you right now, when they get to that point, when you're walking around with less than 1% body fat and you are dehydrated and you can put your body in a lot, it is the extreme side of
Hmm.
fitness. These
Absolutely.
so keep that in mind. But I want to wish him well and prayers his way because he's a great competitor. That guy, he came out of nowhere. He works with what's his coach? Oh man, Milos.
Yeah, Milos.
Milos Sarcev. Yeah, that's his coach. Milos is a great guy. He's on the Cutler cast a lot, and he's a great coach. He also works with Regan Grimes. So we just want to wish him well. We don't ever want to see anybody getting sick or hurt out there, and he's a great competitor. But with that, I'm gonna kick it over to Matt a little bit. Let you know about how the strongman stuff went, or the not the strongman, but the well, yeah, they had the strong men, strong women, but how did that go? You got those results?
Yeah, so Strongman, that was a big one. Just kind of running down a few of the things here. The events that were going on Friday. There was the elephant bar deadlift and a frame carry, and Saturday there was the stone carry, the big wheel carry, and
Yeah.
a stone medley.
I read an article and I wish I could find it. I can't find it, but I think there was a girl strong woman in the elephant bar that broke a record for the elephant bar deadlift. And I think it was, oh man, what was it? Like 357 kg or something like that. I was reading it earlier today and I've lost it and could not find it, but That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so in that, the one thing I do know that the elephant bar deadlift is always the big one. It's super long bar, and they just load plates up on it. And Thor was the one who won that event with 1,006 pound deadlift, and
Nice.
it looked like nothing.
That's
Uh,
good that he's back because didn't he blow a pec out, right?
yeah, he got hurt last year.
Preparing for Strongman, I think. He
Yeah,
was going to come back and tore his pec.
yes. So, that was pretty cool to see. The winner was Mitchell Hooper, second year in a row. He's won. I think he actually won World's Strongest Man last year.
Yeah,
And
2023 World's Strongest Man
yeah,
champion. Congrats
he's
to him.
won the Arnold in 23. He won World's Strongest Man, and then he won Arnold again here in 24. Um,
Fantastic. That's awesome.
and he won it pretty. I mean, he won by 11 and a half points. So in the second through four were 2 point difference, 2.5 point difference. So
Oh,
he
so
won.
it's tight.
Yeah, that was tight. He won pretty handily over that.
Yeah,
But
very
but
good.
three and four were very tight. Um, but the one that I really want to give a shout out to is the world's strongest firefighter. So,
Nice.
um, you basically had a bunch of firefighters, firemen, and firewomen. But the firemen, um, there was a guy from local here in Toledo who went. His name's Marcus Waugh. I want to say that right, Marcus Waugh. He trains at the gym I train at. He has trained with them, with the group of guys who are older than me, and he's older than I am. So they've trained before. He would drop in, a couple one or two weekends a month over time. He really put his nose down because he went last year to this and got like second or third. He didn't win, and he was really bummed about it. And I know he had some health issues going on, so he really wanted to come back and give it full gas. He's been training his ass off, and ended up winning this year. So it's pretty cool to have somebody here, local Toledo, Ohio guy,
Yeah, that's awesome.
win that, and pictures with Arnold and all of the
Yeah,
above.
that's
So it was
good,
really
man.
cool. But I mean, there was one event. The one event he won on Saturday was the sandbag lift. Basically, sandbag the shoulder.
Yeah.
You have to hold it there and balance it. Get your other arm out to show you've got balance. And he lifted the like 396 pound sandbag
Dude.
like it was nothing. And in
I,
training, he posted in training him doing the like I think it was like 405 that was at the gym he was training at.
if
Uh,
I tried to lift a 390-pound sandbag, I think my insides would fall out.
right, right.
It's
The
not
guy
happening.
guy's just an absolute animal.
That's
Um,
crazy.
so I just want to give him a shout out.
Yeah,
But
that's
overall,
awesome.
the interesting thing about these strength events is they also had USA weightlifting there. And
Yeah.
when you first walk in, the training hall was on the left side of the pathway in that we came.
Hmm.
So you could stand there and watch people warm up and train and before the events. I used to be really into Olympic weightlifting, and I've kind of fallen off that since I've been in powerlifting mode. I still pay attention, but I don't follow it as closely as I used to. But there were a lot of amateur events there, including the World's Strongest Firefighter. I mean, they had a powerlifting meet going on almost in the middle, right behind the MIT 45 booth. There was a whole
Yeah.
powerlifting meet going on there.
Nice.
There
It
were some
is. It's awesome there. It is awesome there.
there were some records set there, like national records. There was a group of guys there from who is it? Josh Lander's group, Lander's Syndicate. He brings a group of people to the Main Street Barbell meets that gym I go to. So I want to give him a shout out as well. They were doing had a crew doing the meet there, and it's a long day. They'll go there. I
Oh
mean, there's
yeah.
so many people. I mean, we're talking in a normal like at Main Street Barbell where I lift at, the meets are usually done by 2 o'clock. If you have 40 to 45 lifters, start at
Yeah.
9 a.m. 9 a.m. to 2. It's usually they're doing awards at 2 o'clock, right?
There
I
you
mean,
go.
this was when
It's
we
a
went
day.
walking through there at 10:30. It was like they were just starting heat one. In the first, they were in the first rounds of squats, and
Yeah.
we left at 2 o'clock, and they were only like halfway through bench.
Right.
So
It's
it's
a,
a
yeah. That's
long,
a long day, and you got to
right?
have your food nailed for that, or you're
Yeah.
just gonna
And you're sitting
fatigue out.
around.
Yeah.
Uh, and so yeah. the group of guys that I lift with have lifted at the Arnold before, and they're like, if you don't have to do that one or don't want to do that one, that's probably a good thing. Like,
Yeah,
well,
we had a girl. I
it'd be
had a
awesome
girl.
to do in front of a ton of people, except for the fact that I don't want to sit there for 12 hours.
Yeah, I had a there's a girl that I know. You may know her, Ashley. She used to go by Ashley Rose Butler. Now it's Ohmsburg, but she was actually invited last year. She competed in the powerlifting for women at the Arnold Classic last year. She was invited to compete there, so that was really cool. How about the women's strong the strong woman? That was a half a point. The
Yes.
girl who won that won by a half a point. She had 45 points. Her name is Angelica Jardine and Olga Olga
Yeah.
Lishchuk.
Good luck pronouncing that one.
44 and a half. I mean, a half a point. That you talk about tight.
Yeah. Yeah. And that
And
whole,
every single one of them girls are stronger than me. I guarantee it.
they're all stronger than me too.
100%, dude. Make me look weak.
Oh yeah. We're pansies compared to some of these strong women.
Oh man, they definitely get after it for sure.
I was just looking real quick here to see if I saw anything else uh, that was big news on the strongman or powerlifting side. I don't see anything huge, but nevertheless, it was very interesting. I enjoyed my experience there. The cool thing was is when you were you're kind of in the middle here, middle of the areas, standing around, BSing, meeting people, and then you start to see all the security people come walking through, and you're like, oh boy, here we go.
Here
Right.
comes Arnold.
Next thing you know, it was probably 20 cops and 10 to 15 security people are all around Arnold to making sure he
Yeah.
from one side of the expo to the other in the shortest distance possible.
Now
Um,
he will show up at the expo. He walks it every time. He will be
oh,
there,
yeah,
and
he was there, and
yeah,
then
he cruises around there all the time.
yeah, it was wild because it was he was like 8 feet in front of me. Like that was it
Yeah,
was pretty cool to see him. I mean, he looks his age, and every ounce of it, regardless of what maybe a picture or Instagram will tell you, he looks just as old as he is. But
yeah.
I mean, he's one person that would probably say he doesn't have any regrets. He's done everything.
He
He's
has done
left
everything.
he's left a long impact on the sport to the point where we're talking about it just here,
Yeah.
right?
Think about it though. One of the cool things I love about the Arnold at the Expo is that you would really be amazed at how accessible a lot of these athletes and just competitors, even guys that aren't competing that are there. They'll walk around the show, the floor. They're checking stuff out themselves. They'll talk to you. It's amazing how accessible a lot of these athletes are.
Right. And we'll get into my fanboy moment. So it was right after the
Do
Arnold
it.
walked by. Right after Arnold walked by, we stepped over, took a picture. The picture you probably will post of Heidi and Billy and
Yeah.
myself, Dean and John. Um, and right after that, we're talking. Next thing you know, some more security people start coming through. And who comes through? Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
Now Jay Cutler was probably the number one person I was following when I first started my colossal weight loss journey.
He's
So
still the number one person I follow. He's like my
yeah,
number one guy.
he's it's like I have like the muscular development magazines. I still have them, all of them with him on the cover. The
Yeah.
quad stomp
The one
edition.
where he's in the blue ripped off freaking
Oh,
shirt. I read.
yep,
I
and then
had that one myself.
the quad stomp edition. I have that one.
Yes.
So all those ones, and he left such an impact on me and kind of got me started. And if I didn't know what to do on a workout, or I'm like, oh, I'm going to go work out, but I don't know what to do. All I have to do is pull up one of his work. Oh, well, I'm going to do back today, and I pull up one of his. Okay, I'll go there. I'll start there. And this is back when I'm first starting, so I don't really know my ass from my elbow at that point. But anyway, so we're talking, and I'm talking to Dean and John. We were talking powerlifting totals, and I told him how I squatted 785 a week or so before. And he goes, "Oh, so that was your total?" I'm like, "No, no, no, that was my squat." And their eyes got, and then, and then he came through, and him and Dean, Cutler and Dean are buddies, or stronger than acquaintances.
Yeah.
Um, So Cutler leans in, they shake hands, and he puts his hand on my back and pats my shoulder. And I was
Nice.
at the moment, I'm kind of like, oh, hey, I'm playing it cool. And then as soon as he walks away, my buddy Kyle and I made eye contact, and it was like froze. Fanboy moment of the year,
Matt's taking that shirt off, throwing it in his bag. Nobody's
dude.
touching this.
Dude, we got we got out into the parking lot, and my buddy Kyle goes, "Hey, how does it feel to know that Jay Cutler touched you?"
Ah, I felt like that. It was really cool when I met Ronnie because, I talked with him for a few minutes. I have never met Joe. Now, I have followed Jay, like I said, with the magazines back in the day. When I first started, really thinking about lifting and stuff in the late '90s and early 2000s, I would follow him, and him, and then Hani Rambod too, right? I remember reading articles in muscular development and muscle and fitness that Hani Rambod was writing before you had social media, right? He was posting the different coaching articles, and those are literally my two gurus. I mean, I design my own training around my clients based off of the knowledge that I've learned from them, following them. I train that way myself. I'm a volume trainer. um I adapt if my clients have different goals. That's one thing. But uh if you're looking to train like a bodybuilder, that's where I pull my resources from, because I just value. And I when I was there, I met Hani Rambod. He was there with he was coaching. This was 2023. It was Summer. What's her name? Dr. Summer. Um, she was a wellness competitor that he was coaching back then, and I ran into him right after the show and talked to him a little bit before he did an interview, which was really cool. Hani's short, dude. He's like five
Oh
four. I
yeah,
was like, holy crap, you're done.
yeah,
But yeah, man. Yeah, that was good. That's fun. That's awesome. Good for you.
but yeah. So then I called, on the way home, I called my wife, and I'm like, "You're never gonna believe what happened." And her first words were, "Matt, you still have to shower
Ah, yeah, my wife would be the same way. I'm telling you, she gets enough of it as it is now. Because I was like when Cutler was doing his Fit for 50,
tonight."
he's been doing that Fit for 50, and I was like, man, I can't believe how good this guy looks. His quads.
Right,
She's like, are you a homeboy? What's going on here? You trying to marry Jay and get rid of me? What's
right.
so I'll take him. Oh man, he's something else. But Jay is Jay was the guy when he was competing that, like, it would be everybody was leaving because they had to get ready for the show,
Mhm.
and Jay'd be the last guy there,
Yeah,
signing, talking. He was as accessible as he could be with everybody. He's always been that way. He's still that way. When you watch like his jaywalking
Mhm.
or any of his videos on YouTube, when he's in the gym, people will come up and he stops, he talks to him, and even though it's interrupting his workout, he doesn't care. I mean, I'm sure it can get annoying. I can see where that could get annoying, but you never see it on his face. He is very friendly to people, which I just think it's when Jay's probably, when you look at his, not, I mean, he doesn't have the most Olympias, but from just a bodybuilding standpoint, he has turned his career into a business, and
Mhm.
he is one of the probably more successful guys to do it, just with
Absolutely.
his presence and being out there. He does a great job with that. So
Yeah, and I think what lends a good hand to that is not only being accessible and being friendly, but if you look at a lot of the people who were competitors and aren't competitors anymore, and you run across them, they're not. It's not the same. It's
yeah.
not that they're arrogant pricks or they're inaccessible. It's just different,
Hmm.
and he almost makes it feel more comfortable to be around. And like you're two bros in a gym having a conversation,
Yeah.
not I'm looking up to somebody who's so amazing, and I'm such a minuscule person.
You know who else was cool like that was the late great John Meadows, rest in
Oh,
peace.
absolutely,
That
absolutely.
dude was very, very friendly. I was when I was on the road trucking and stuff, I was trying to develop a program while I was on the truck. And I just reached out to him on social media. I just reached out to him on Instagram and Messenger. Dude, he got back to me. We had a conversation. He helped me put some things together, told me how I could structure some stuff. I mean, just he didn't have to do that. I mean, he's a coach. He charges to coach, right?
So
But he didn't have to do that, but he took time out of his day to spend 5, 10 minutes chatting with me, to, help me figure some stuff out, which, guys like that, they're the best, man.
yeah, I remember I was down hanging out with my buddy Tony in Columbus, and we were training at one of the gyms he trained at, and John Meadows was there training, and
Oh
so
yeah.
I had 5, 10 minute conversation. I didn't know him or know about his stuff. Ever since then, I paid a lot more attention. And boy, am I glad I did because he was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, it broke my heart. He has two young boys,
Yeah,
and when I heard that he now the thing with John, a lot of people at first there was a lot of speculation. Oh, it's all the drugs and stuff. Now, John was never one to go hard and heavy like that, and he had health issues
yeah.
for a long time that were affecting him.
He
So
had, I think he was in a car accident and lost part of an organ.
yeah,
I can't remember
yeah.
which one. I don't want to speak
And
wrong.
he also had some heart issues that weren't related to PEDs necessarily. And he was very open about it and talking about it. But when I heard that, man, my heart just went out. I mean, his two young sons, his wife, I felt so bad for them, and just all the people that, I mean, dude, he coached, oh man, who was he coaching?
I mean, he
Um
was coaching Missy
who was the
Truscott.
212 guy? Guy who won the Olympia in 212. I can't remember. It's not Sean Khalid. Was it Sean? I think it was Sean. But yeah, he coached him. I mean, he was heartbroken. It's just, John was just such a good guy, man. And, he loved the Arnold. He's right there, from Columbus. So that was kind of
Right.
cool. But
Let's see here.
he's a good guy. Good guy. So how was Billy? I haven't talked to Billy in a long time.
Oh, Billy's great. Him and I chat quite frequently. We exchange social media banter.
Yeah.
Um, and we'll BS whether it's a random wrestling clip, or we're talking about something more training related. I did we did verbally make an agreement, him and I, for on a Saturday at some point for me to go up there and train legs with him on a weekend. Um,
Where's he at?
he's up in Michigan. He's like
Okay.
5 minutes to an hour north of me.
Okay.
It was kind of in a similar space when Seth came and did the squats on Sunday
Hmm.
tour up here that I went to.
Yeah.
It's in that area. It's like an hour north, but
Okay, cool.
it's that it's an easy drive. But I'm like, but we verbally agreed to go up there and do a workout and get some
Leg
footage of
sesh.
that.
That's
Um,
good.
so, and I'm sure we'll do some random, wrestling banter along the way with that, but
There
because
you
we can't
go.
help ourselves. But he's good. He's good. He's it's interesting. He's another one who's not. When he will post some of his like check-ins or his posing and such, looks phenomenal, and
Hmm.
he's not. He's wide up top,
Yeah.
but he's not a super huge guy.
Yeah, you could see that in the picture. He's definitely ripped. He always looks great. I've always enjoyed Billy's a good guy, man. He's always uh put out a positive vibe,
Yep.
in the demo crew and other things, which was, it's good to see that, man, because there's so many trolls out there that are always looking to just pick people apart and tear them down rather than, instead of calling them out in front of everybody, maybe go on their DMs and say, hey, I heard that doing this can, whatever, mess this up. Have you ever thought about trying it this way? Rather than, I just can't
Well,
stand the people that get there and just tear people apart.
I got one on my YouTube channel yesterday. So I posted a video yesterday of my squat
Yeah.
Saturday, in which I hit a personal record in just my briefs, my Titan briefs, and knee wraps and belt, and I hit 725.
Yeah.
Uh, and so,
Outstanding, by the way.
so thank you. The way that the girl in the gym, Angie, the IFBB pro who trains with us on the weekends, she she took like from the bottom looking up, and I'm used to every time I post a squat video, there's always 1 to 3 people who are always like, doesn't count, didn't hit depth, all this, which I then, make sure I tell them that, by the way, 2 of the spotters, one on the side and the one behind me, are both, powerlifting judges that judge multiple times a year, 4 to 5 times
Yeah.
a year. I think they know when to call what,
Hmm.
nevertheless. Which that doesn't bother me. The one that kind of got to me a little bit was, and it didn't get to me at first, but you know, when people pile on and start liking it, that's when it kind of
Yeah.
bothers me a little bit. The person put, "Is he pregnant?"
Dude,
Right, and I'm like,
the hell, man?
sure. And so I chuckled at that a little bit. At first, I'm like, oh, that's so stupid. And then I woke up this morning and there were a couple more comments in there that came through overnight, so I was going in to respond to them. And of course, I happened to come across it and had multiple likes on the "Is he pregnant?" I'm
Yeah.
like, really,
Don't do that. Don't respond, dude. Post and ghost, brother. Post and ghost.
really.
Don't
So,
engage. Do they
uh,
have no concept of what powerlifting is or how to do the vulva maneuver to really brace your core so that when you're lifting 725 pounds, your insides don't blow out your belly button? Do they
right?
have
No,
any idea?
they
It's
don't know
freaking
that. And
stupid, dude.
and that's the I could cut a whole promo on this of only commenting on what you're training for.
Yeah.
Don't go and comment on things you don't know about. You don't know the rules. You don't know how long they've been lifting in this goal of theirs. I could go on a freaking hour and a half soliloquy on that, but um, it's interesting where when you were there, tying this all back to the Arnold, this troll fest, tying that
Yeah.
back to the Arnold. When you're there, everybody's positive.
Yes.
There's no like, dude, you stink, or any. Yeah, there's people that smell there. Everybody has a scent, and
There
you're
are
in there.
some
And they're
there
passing
are
around.
some BO dudes for
Dude,
sure.
they're passing around pre-workouts and energy drink.
Yeah.
Get this, I had I collected 6 energy drinks, but I had to pay $4 for a bottle of water. Okay,
Yeah.
I got 6 free energy drinks, but I had to pay $4 for a bottle of water. Just
Yeah.
you know, so you're getting all these pre-workouts and energy drinks in there. Oh, and they have protein bar samples and try our nut butters, and you get all the samples going. And I mean, nobody sits there and eats this random assortment of stuff on a daily basis.
No.
Everybody's passing gas the whole
Oh,
time,
dude, yeah.
and you're
I
walking
left there,
through
and
it.
when I left, I think I had a month's worth, dude.
Yeah, and
For
you're
the
and you're
month.
like you're getting crop dusted left and right, and everybody says, but nobody's going up to, dude, did you crap your pants? Like, nobody,
Yeah,
dude, why do you stink? Nobody's doing that. Like, and
yeah,
that's
no,
kind of the nice thing is everybody just knows these things. This is part of the experience. You know what's going to happen. Is it gross? Yeah, but
yeah.
that's part
It
of
is
part of
what
the
it
game,
is.
right?
You are right to say stay in your lane, though. If you
Oh
don't
yeah,
know what you're talking about, just shut the hell up. Really. I mean, there are so many levels to fitness and training and so many different goals, and people are in so many different levels. Not everybody's wanting to be a bodybuilder. I don't want to get that lean.
right,
I have no desire to be walking around shredded. My desire, I like to kind of have that muscle mass, kind of like a bodybuilder. But really, my ultimate goal from lifting is when I'm walking down the street and there's that criminal out there that's going to go, I'm going to rob someone tonight, and they see me walk by and they go, maybe not him, the next guy. That's my whole goal right there to
right.
stay in shape, right?
Yeah,
So,
and like I said, we could go on a total sidebar talking about staying in your lane, and it would be rude for me to say, gosh, I wish who was the second place classic physique guy who got did second.
Ramon.
Ramon, thank you. I was drawing a blank on his name. I could sit there and say, gosh, he looked like such trash compared to the number one guy. But coming from a guy who just got called pregnant, like let right. So once again,
Not to mention the differences between first and 10th in these shows is so minuscule, man.
right,
It is
right.
like one guy hit the post better than the other guy. It's crazy. Crazy,
So
crazy.
but overall, the Arnold experience is a lot more pleasant than social media is, and it's actually kind of nice to be able to see people you interact with on the social medias,
Yeah.
who you could give, random comments to or constructive criticism to. And you get to share space with them and be able to see them and meet them and have more conversations.
Really cool, dude. Maybe we should do that in a couple months. We'll do a show, Stay in Your Lane.
We could
We could,
put
100%.
put it on the calendar.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. I'll set something up because it's a good topic, man. I mean, like you say, first of all, can't you just be nice, man? Be nice. People are out there trying hard. And maybe they're not as good looking or as in shape as you, but they are working and trying hard. Give them credit where credit's due, you know? You don't know what
Absolutely.
their backstory is, where they come from.
My
So
biggest
yeah,
thing
we'll
is
have to do
is
that.
you can show grace without being soft.
100%.
So,
100%. I agree.
but yeah,
Well, Matt,
at the end of the day, my Arnold experience was extremely positive, and I'm planning on going next year.
I'm gonna try and get back. I wanted to go. Matter of fact, I had a hotel reservation for this show, but my doctor wouldn't let me travel yet because
Yeah.
my foot's jacked up. I'm in this boot for forever, and it limits
Hashtag
kind of some of the
plan.
activity. We went to the Supercross last night up in Birmingham, Alabama, the first Supercross ever there. We used to go to Atlanta, and I grew up in San Diego. I've been going to Supercross since I don't know 1980. But we went and we had to walk quite a distance and then climb up some stairs and then climb down some stairs into the stadium. And, it wasn't too bad. The foot is definitely getting better. It can handle more punishment throughout the day. So I think it's something that I could almost definitely do. I'd love to get back there to the Arnold. It's an awesome experience. And even if I have to bring my little knee scooter and just knee scoot
Yeah.
around there, man, it'd be worth it for me to definitely go again.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. Absolutely.
but- hey, you got anything coming up, man? Any powerlifting competitions for you?
No, I do have a couple goals out there I'm hoping to hit before mid-year. But not a meet on the books yet. Hopefully sometime, October, November, I'm targeting. Give myself enough time to ensure that I can hit these couple goals that I'll hit in the gym. Hope when I hit these goals in the gym by June, I can replicate them on the platform in October, November.
There you go. Bingo.
Uh,
That'd be great.
I had to change my verbiage there because, uh, you know, it was February. I hit the 785 squat, so I know I have an 800 in me. So I'm
Yeah,
hitting the gym with some confidence. Just last week I hit 480 bench to a one board in my shirt. I everyone there agrees that I have a 500-pound bench in me, so
yeah.
that's exciting. So by June, I'd like to hit the 800 squat and the 500 bench, um, and then work to be able to guarantee that I have that come fall meet time.
Yeah, and
So
Matt, everybody, if you want to follow Matt doing these things, he has a great social media presence on YouTube and Instagram, Matt Freaking Deakins.
yep,
It's Matt Freaking Deakins on
Matt
YouTube
freaking
too, right?
Deakins. Yep,
I'll put it in the description as well, but he does some cool lifts, usually has some cool tunes playing when he's lifting, and
yep,
it's always fun to watch, but
yeah. No, and I couldn't do it without the crew I lift with. So got to give them
good
some.
deal. Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, I will definitely set up the Stay in Your Lane podcast and we'll do that. You know what? You should talk to Billy. I remember one time Billy on the demo crew, somebody was railing him. We went into Mr. was talking, I'm like, what's this guy doing, dude? You should get Billy to join us. I'd love to talk to him.
Yeah, let's put on the calendar and see if he's available. The worst case scenario, he's not available. We'll do it. If best case
Yeah.
scenario, we'll get him
Or
to do.
I'll look through the calendar and I'll get you several dates this week.
Okay.
And when you talk to him, see if he's up for it. One
Hey,
Sunday evening, we'll get together and just chat.
sounds good.
So that'd be good. Well, Matt, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Once again, we want to give a shout out to all the winners at the Arnold Classic, both the strength competitors and the bodybuilders. There is so much blood, sweat, and tears that goes into competing at these events. They are working so hard. And some of these people at the bottom, when it's their first show, I mean, a lot of them, some of them even still have jobs they're not necessarily doing this for a living yet, and they are still dedicating their lives, and they can teach us all a little something about going after what you want. So I just want to huge congratulations to them once again. Prayers out to Samson Dowda. Hope he gets well quick, so that we can still see him. But ultimately, his health is number
Sure.
one.
Yep.
And why the intro to the show has changed just a little bit, the outro is still the same. So y'all get out there and work hard, peoples, and remember, don't forget to smile. Thanks so much for watching or listening. Remember to like and subscribe. You can find us on Facebook at Work Hard Peoples LLC or Instagram at Work Hard Peoples LLC. You can also find us on our website at workhardpeoples.com. Have a great day or night. Don't forget to smile.